Hi, everybody. I'm PJ Kwong for SGS Live. And in today's session, we will discuss how focusing on quality and compliance can help to ensure performance of clean energy projects. The recent growth in clean energy sources, such as wind and solar, though, has created numerous challenges, including durability and consistency of projects that will run for decades, tighter deadlines, strong price pressures, rising insurance claims, and the need to keep up with new technologies. For this timely and important conversation, I am joined by Mr. Deepak Zade, SGS India's Head of Mining, Energy, and Power. Deepak, welcome. So what is the most interesting aspect of your role at SGS here?
Greetings and thanks for having me here, PJ. Basically, my role is helping businesses and institutions adopt a more sustainable future. I am responsible for management of clean energy business, defining solutions to the client needs and global delivery.
That, my friend, is a big job. As much as you and I are half a world apart, I am here in Chile, Canada, in the very early morning. Some things, though, in the world are very much the same. What are things like for you there in India at the moment?
You are right, PJ. As much as we are located in different part of countries, some things do remain same. I am here in sunny afternoon in India. However, southern India is experiencing unusual heavy rains, maybe because of the climate change effects.
Funny you should say climate change. Let's get started. Everywhere I look and everybody I talk to is concerned about renewable and clean energies. Deepak, let's get right back to basics. Can you explain to me, please, what is clean energy?
As the name suggests, PJ, clean energy is an energy form that comes from zero emission sources, renewables, energy saved by energy efficiency measures. So typically, clean energy can be adopted in power generation, wind and solar, for example, process switch, say green hydrogen, green e-mobility, methane abatement, and even industrial processes. All such forms are collectively referred as clean energy.
Okay, all eyes were focused on COP26 in Glasgow, and I would love to check in with you about what's happening around the world and any COP outcome that has happened so far that has captured your attention.
Yeah. Conference of Parties, COP, is a platform where nations meet annually. They discuss various climate change issues, align and agree on various action plans. COP26 is presently going on in Glasgow. To meet our zero emission targets by mid-century and to contain 1.5 degree, nations so far has promised to end deforestation, curb methane emissions, and even stop public funding for coal power stations in definite timelines. These steps are definitely in right direction. However, we need to implement the agreed action points in timely manner. And of course, we need to intensify our efforts to meet our climate change targets.
Okay, why are clean energy projects important?
This is a very good question, PJ. The most important aspect of clean energy are the environmental benefits that it brings in. There are some added advantages. Because of clean energy, we reduces our dependence on imported fuel, and that's how associated financial costs. Clean energy also help us to preserve our natural resources as well as the environmental disasters such as fuel spills or gas leaks. Renewable or clean energy also has inherent cost reduction measures because here we don't have to extract and transport fuel such as coal or oil. Last, decentralized power generation. All these renewable energy technologies sits next to the load center. So by decentralized power generation, we actually reduce transmission and distribution losses.
All right, I want to know, typically, who are the stakeholders in clean energy projects? And can you tell me a little bit about what the stakeholders in each of these sectors do?
Typical stakeholders do include project owners or developers who has a responsibility to set up such projects and maintain it also. Second stakeholder could be lenders, financial institutions who fund these projects. Third, manufacturers who manufacture products and systems which gets into the clean energy project. Fourth, contractors or EPCs whose responsibility is to set up, build these projects for project owners. Fourth could be service providers like SGS to ensure quality of the project throughout the life cycle. And fifth will be government or regulatory agencies who provide necessary clearances for setting up such projects.
Wow. I just knew that our audience would be so interested in this topic. We're going to take a look at the comments. They're going to flash at the bottom of our screen to see who has joined us. And I just want to say a big welcome, one and all. We are so happy to have you here talking with me and with Deepak. Okay, let's get back to some more talking. If we're talking about transitions for companies to clean energy, what are the best types of clean energies that these companies should be transitioning to?
It's an interesting question because there is no one size fit for all.
Okay.
The companies need to figure out what is best suited for them. It really also depends on the potential available in the respective country or the region. Okay. For example, in India, we have potential for almost all clean energy technologies, whether you mean it wind power or solar power stations. That may not be the case everywhere. So the companies need to adopt the locally available potential and opportunities to meet their targets.
All right. Off the top of this session, I mentioned that there were challenges. What are the key challenges being faced by stakeholders, Deepak? And can you please give me some examples?
Again, a very important point. Setting up clean energy project is not easy. It comes with a lot of challenges. Challenges could be from the economic side, policy, quality, or even social also. These challenges do get magnified by extreme weather conditions in which these projects do run. So we need to have a deeper understanding of such challenges for widespread adaptation. Based on our experience, there are key observations here. First, low tariffs worldwide are pushing developers to cut on cost and quality. Second, quality being often overlooked by challenging deadlines, cost control, quality lapses, or even sometimes negligence. On the other hand, the manufacturers are moving by developing new technologies, by undertaking research and development. Standards needs to catch up in terms of operationalization or harmonization. So as you know, PJ, quality leads to safety and compliance throughout the life cycle of the project.
Wow, there is so much that we're talking about. And if you're just joining us, I'm speaking with SGS India's head of mining, energy, and power, Deepak Zade. And we're continuing our fascinating conversation about renewable and clean energies. So continuing on. As far as you know, Deepak, and I know you know a lot, let's talk about the mitigation of the challenges. What are possible mitigation plans?
Any clean energy project runs through various phases, like say conceptual phase till operation phase. So are the challenges and mitigation plan. So let's try to understand what could be the mitigation plan during various phases of a particular project. First phase of any project could be a conceptualization phase, where the project gets conceptualized. It's a very important phase because most of the further parameters depend on the conceptual phase. So we need to ensure the site assessment or energy assessment that we do really are reflecting to the site conditions. Similarly, the project schedules that we estimate at this time should be realistic. Cost estimation also should be realistic. Second phase in the project is design, where the projects get designed. And again, a very important phase because design happens only one time. So we need to really adhere to the international, regional, or even local standards while designing various systems that goes into the project. Third phase is manufacturing, where the products get manufactured. And again, this is an important phase. So we need to have a proper guidance on product certification, whether the respective manufacturer has the capability to produce that kind of product of quality and within timeline. So factory audit could be a good tool here. And then quality assurance plan or inspections at manufacturing unit can help us in a great way. Next phase is transportation, like the products and systems which are manufactured needs to be transported from manufacturing unit to the site. And here is the major defects can arise during manufacturing if we don't have proper mitigation plan. So we need to ask few questions here. Do we have guidelines for transporter? Whether we can integrate loading and unloading supervision or inspection during this process. Last phase, PJ, in the project is installation and commissioning. Again, a very important phase and last phase, we are now putting up the project on site. So whether we have site quality assurance plan, health and safety assurance plans at site, and that has to be vigorously implemented. Second important component here is the installation company who is actually installing the plant at site. So whether that installation company has specific guidelines, resources are available, and the resources are properly trained. So these are a couple of mitigation plans during various phases of the project that if we implement properly, the project will be fully compliant and quality assured.
You know, that's a lot to take in, but I have another question from the SGS point of view. How can SGS be partnered with companies to implement the mitigation plans?
Yeah, PJ, before going for SGS role, let me highlight one point here. A product component failure has a very high cost that one can imagine. For an example, a wind turbine blade damage means replacing the entire wind blade, which naturally increases operation and maintenance cost and huge downtime of that particular wind turbine. So clean power is about performance of a project, not just the install capacity. So we need to ensure quality management throughout the project life. And that's where SGS acts as a trusted partner to the stakeholder to achieve these goals for safer, greener, smarter, and cleaner energy projects.
So I'm curious about how much and how you involve customers in determining any mitigation or transition plan, and how long does that process take?
Yeah, it's a teamwork. Customers, of course, the project developers are the key stakeholders here, but other stakeholders also has to play an equally important role. So mitigation plan is a teamwork. The planning can happen during initial phases of the project, but the implementation has to run through the entire project cycle.
Okay, I have one more question before we get to our Q&A, and for our audience, if you're interested in submitting a question, please just do so in our chat below this screen. We'd be very happy to hear from you. Deepak, I would like to ask you to please highlight on SGS's ADIPEC 2021 participation. First of all, though, can you explain what ADIPEC 2021 is?
PJ, ADIPEC stands for Abu Dhabi International Petroleum Exhibition and Conference, which is the world's most influential meeting place wherein oil, gas, energy companies do convene. ADIPEC 2021, it is happening in Abu Dhabi from November 15 to 18. SGS is a regular participant in ADIPEC. So we are pleased to invite all of you to visit our stall in hall number 7 to discuss our solutions for your key challenges towards your net zero ambitions.
Okay, it's time for our Q&A, and I am sure that you're willing to take on a couple of questions. Am I right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. We have a couple of questions that came in earlier. And Deepak, you have so many projects under your belt. In which phases of a project are you most likely to witness major failures? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Let me share 2 scenarios here to answer your question. One, a project with best design and planning, but substandard products and systems. A second scenario could be a project with best products and system, but with poor design and planning. And you will agree with me, PJ, in either cases, we will not be getting the expected results. So each phase of the project is equally important to get the expected results. And that's where SGS plays an important role to ensure quality and compliance throughout the project cycle.
Okay. You ready for another question?
Sure.
Okay. Can you give me a couple of examples of how clients have been able to achieve success with SGS's help?
I'm glad that you asked this question. Let me quote 2 examples here. One, a project developer requested us to undertake on-arrival testing of solar modules. So post-testing, we noticed the defect levels were way high compared to the accepted limits. Naturally, the mitigation plan was to remove the defective modules and put in the correct modules in the system. That has ensured that project is now defect-free installation and getting the desired performance. Had that testing was not been done, probably the defective modules would have been installed and we would have not getting the desired performance. So this is one of the example. Second example, one of the key renewable energy developer decided to set up a renewable energy project in a completely new territory, say Bangladesh. And as you know, Bangladesh is at nascent stage of setting up such project. So the market is not so mature there. They approached us. We defined a solution to go to this new territory and implement the project with the right kind of quality and compliance. And I'm happy to tell you the project has been successfully commissioned and generating power at desired levels.
You know, I am so fascinated by all of the information that you're sharing with us. We have one final question, and it's asking you to look into your crystal ball. And what is your impression of where we are headed in the future, Deepak?
Renewable energy capacity additions, if you see for the last 10 years or so, in 2020, it has jumped by 45%. So from 1990, this is the largest year-on-year growth. And you will see this as a new normal going forward, around 270 to 280 gigawatts per annum getting added. So that shows that the technology has been matured and there is a definite interest. The forecast for setting up the projects have been revised by the authorities by 25% on upper side based on the previous experience. So the momentum is good, but as I said earlier, we need to do a lot to protect our environment.
No doubt. I don't know if I have learned as much in this past 20 minutes as I have in, I don't know, last year or so, especially about renewable and clean energies. I really want to thank you, Deepak Zade, for joining me. This has been fantastic.
I thank you, PJ.
So I know that a tremendous amount of information has been covered today, and we are so glad that you were able to join us and be a part of it. Don't forget, if you wish to learn more Please feel free to comment below in the chat box. And of course, you can check out the link that is going to come up on our page. And we have our website, sgs.com. Of course, there's the link. So check that out if you want more information about renewable and clean energies. In the meantime, I'm PJ Kwong for SGS Live. Thank you for watching. Bye for now.